So this is for sealing grout, okay? Sealer. This is for doing floors, okay? The idea of this tool here is that when you press it down, the sealer comes out, right? And when you are using it, you're rolling it, okay? Let's say that's floor tile, right? And this is downwards. This would roll on the grout line, and it will apply an even level of grout, sealer inside the grout there, okay? It's really easy. So what you want to do is go in one direction all the way, okay, until you're done and you're all the way across the room. And then you want to go the other direction. And this is going to be true of all sealing, right? And the reason we do it that way is because we don't want to miss any spots, okay? When you're doing like little areas, it's easy to, kind of miss some stuff. It's important to tell the customer that once it's dry, it's going to lighten up again, because once you put this stuff on there, it's going to be wet again, and we want it to be that way so it soaks into the grout. The customer asks, as far as sealing goes, the reason why we have to wait like we did and have you come back when it's dry is because grout is really porous, so it wants to soak up any moisture that's in there. We want that to be sealer, and we don't want it to be diluted with water, and we want it to soak in, and that's why it needs to be dry, okay? Like I said, as far as doing floors, this is the tool. It points downwards. Sometimes this thing, kind of gets sticky, right? And so what I would recommend before you start using it is to unscrew this, okay? Be careful not to spill the sealer in there, okay? And then rinse this thing out, okay? Try and get it clean so that it easily goes up and down with pressure, all right? And then fill this with sealer. At the very top here is a hole, and you take the sealer and you fill it up into there. You can't really overfill it, so it's a very low-tech tool. And yes, you can go outside and play some baseball with it. Just kidding, don't do that. So anyways, usually I'll put down a wet floor sign, okay? And that's just, basic safety. If you don't do it, it's not gonna hurt. Just tell them, just to stay off it before it dries. And then they're gonna ask you how long they need to stay off it. Say as long as you see moisture in the grout, stay off it, right? It shouldn't take more than an hour before they can walk on it, all right? And if they do need to walk on it, they just don't step on the grout lines and they'll be just fine, okay? They might ask why you're not sealing the whole tile. And the reason is that porcelain tile is not meant to be sealed. And when you seal over it over again, then it starts to build this film. And then when you clean it, the edge gets all gunked up, and now you have to pay to have all that sealer stripped, okay? So it's, one of those things that we just don't do. Now we will seal the whole tile itself if it's natural stone. That's a totally different video. So anyways, that's the basic idea of sealing floors. Now, if we're doing like a countertop, okay, so let's pretend this is a tile that's sitting like this, all right? And this tool, you fill it with sealer, okay? And then you just roll it along the countertop, and it's gonna do the same thing. It's gonna dispense by pressing it down. Actually, this one I think dispenses by squeezing it. And then, and that's gonna help distribute the whole thing evenly. If you're doing something, and let's say this is a wall of a shower, okay? And you're like, all right, well, how am I gonna get this to work? Well, you need to paint it on, okay? So there's this smaller applicator, and you wipe it down the wall, right? Okay, and you're gonna do that down everything. Remember, go down and then go sideways, from the top down, all right? So yeah, that's this one. It's got a little brush on the tip, you squeeze it and some comes out. And the reason why we wanna use these on walls is because you can kind of get it into the grout itself while you're moving. It's a little easier to use without having it like drip down. Let's see. That's the basic idea with sealing grout.